A few days later, you're sitting in a dive bar in San Francisco's Mission District with Mark, a somewhat scruffy young reporter in a leather jacket. Mark has Mediterranean features, wavy black hair, and ample beard stubble. This sounds like Mediterranean Ian. He takes a deep pull of one of those artificial cigarettes that delivers all the nicotine with none of the illegal smoke, then opens up a cheap Chromebook that looks about 10 years old and starts typing furiously.
Did they have Chromebooks in 2010?
Apparently.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Anachronisms! He just says it looks 10 years old.
The place smells of smoke that never quite came out of the retro upholstered furniture. It's afternoon, so the place is mostly empty except for some dedicated drunks and you two.
Thanks for coming, Mark says, even if he's typing something different about the atmosphere of the bar. You'd be surprised how many people insist on just answering via email. But that's reporting. It's like trying to sell the public a car you've only seen in a picture. To find the truth, you've got to kick the tires. You've got to look them in the eye.
He looks you in the eye.
Like right now, I can tell you've sacrificed a little piece of your life for something else.
You sound like a sociopath.
Does game show host mean sociopath? Tell them what they've won.
Like if a game show host told me, I can tell by looking in your eyes that you've sacrificed a little piece of your life for something else.
I thought you meant my voice, not the dialogue.
I would think you're a freaking sociopath.
He says, going back to typing. There's a weird flatness in your look, like you're not quite used to being fully here. You appreciate things a little more than people.
Why is Mark a fortune cookie?
What? I think this voice plus Mark is very scary. I think you might change your voice. It's creeping me out.
I'll work up the California hipster.
I think you need to do hipster more.
Probably passed up a social opportunity or two. He hesitates. Sorry, he says, but I know how that is. Sometimes you've got to put a piece of yourself into something bigger. I get it.
The bartender, a tattooed and thoroughly pierced young woman with the build of a roller derby player, approaches Mark.
PBR, Mark says lightly, as if it's just a reminder.
PBR.
PBR.
The bartender then looks to you expectantly.
Right, what are alcohol options?
PBR for me too. Got any coffee or chocolate coffee porters? I'll have the Miller High Life, please. The champagne of beers. Guinness for strength. Just water for me, please.
So I had difficulty with this last one. This last time. Because what I actually like in a beer is the chocolate coffee porter style stuff. But clearly when they say Guinness for strength, they're under the impression, like the social impression, that Guinness is a really thick, hearty, strong beer.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's like the weakest stout I've ever tasted.
Like chocolate coffee porter would be stronger than a Guinness
Guinness
stout.
is actually like a very weak, watery kind of stout.
It tastes like a milkshake.
It's totally fine. I mean, I like Guinnesses because I love stouts. But so realistically, I would go for the chocolate coffee porter because that's what I actually want. But for what they're going for, Guinness is clearly the correct choice.
Maybe you're supposed to be a little douchey.
I mean, PBR is an option, obviously.
This guy seems really well informed, the writer. He seems to know things.
And see, I would just go for water, so...
Mm-hmm. Which one does our character like?
I don't know. I don't know the difference between any of those.
Let's see. We're kind of socially awkward. We're not particularly well versed in etiquette and stuff. We're not trashy enough to have Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. That implies a societal knowledge that we clearly don't have. I kind of got any chocolate coffee porters?
Sure. I kind of like
it has chocolate in it. I like chocolate.
Okay. Mark looks at you dubiously and makes a note of your request. Who judges you for chocolate coffee porters?
What?
Oh, maybe people
He's judging
do.
us.
But it says they don't because nobody drinks it, and they get to drink it. But I really do enjoy Guinness. It's my go-to. I'm out and I want a beer kind of thing because it's still a stout. Anyway, Gatsby.
Oh, it doesn't let you order it. The bartender gestures to the taps. There's a series of American beers you've tried and don't like. Guinness, a stout from Ireland that you think might be most similar to your request, and Miller High Life, which you've heard advertised as the champagne of beers but have never tried. Oddly, none of the beers on tap has the initials PBR.
And then the same choices, but without the coffee porters. You did make the correct socially awkward choice.
All right, yeah. Maybe we should just bite the bullet and get a PBR.
That's kind of the socially awkward thing to do,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah, that.
I'll just have what he's having.
Yep, go for it.
Oh man.
Mark nods at your choice of beers as if it's what he expected. Why are you doing that?
Because they spent a lot of money on that noise, and it's a beautiful noise. If you knew anything about cars, Kyle, you'd know.
It means that they're really an impressive human with many accomplishments and many impressive natural features.
It must.
Yeah.
The bartender leaves to fill your order. What is your initial impression of Mark?
I don't think this guy and I are gonna get
Okay,
along.
you have to stop whatever you're doing with the mouse because it's freaking me out.
That's just the. It's
Please
just,
stop. Please stop.
I'm just.
That's what my Wii remote does if I ever touch it. Alright, the options are, I don't think this guy and I are going to get along. Seems like an interesting guy. I think we'll get along okay. Kind of mysterious, kind of cute. I'm wondering if it's against his professional ethics to go on a date with me.
I told you it's about journalistic ethics.
Wait, we can cheat on Ellie?
We're not really like, I don't know, are we still like with Ellie?
Said we called her our significant. She just helped us move, man.
Let's see our stats.
Yeah, well, then we can just like, I don't know. Like, look, we're not like engaged.
I'm 64. Very
We
good.
have we're doing 14% better with Ellie than we are with Mark.
Well, because we just met Mark. We haven't had a chance.
I think Mark's fine. I think we can pick the one where it says
But
he's
do you
fine.
think Mark's fine?
No. Mark is okay. That's not actually an option. It's, do you like him, don't like him?
Hey, now
Or
on
try
the
to date
stream,
him
it
because
looks
this is
like,
apparently a dating sim.
looks like I have a dog body on this stream. No, it
Right,
doesn't.
you were doing the mouse.
You can do the mouse now, it's Bluetooth.
As you make this decision, Mark glances at you and types another brief note to himself. He seems very good at reading people.
So I've heard your robot is kind of like a robotic 4-year-old, only it's sort of like Edward Scissorhands somehow. And it's kind of like bumbling in what may be an endearing way.
I think it's
Mark
like literally Edward Scissorhands
Yeah, it
because
is.
it's like, I have Swiss Army knife hands.
Mark gives you a skeptical look to tell you what he thinks of this. I guess I have to show you my robot sometime, you say.
Yeah.
The bartender comes back with your PBR and Mark's PBR. You find that the initials stand for... I've never known how to pronounce that.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Pabst the Blue Ribbon. And that it comes in an elongated can. You try it and decide that you would probably not award it a blue ribbon. It tastes gleefully trashy.
That's exactly correct, by the way. It's a terrible beer.
It tastes very bad.
It started off as them like liking the working man's beer, ironically,
Uh,
but then they just actually started like drinking.
It tastes worse than like Miller Lite.
I mean, Miller Lite is just inoffensive. It just doesn't
tastes
taste.
like tastes like watery beer.
But
it tastes
Pabst
like
Blue
has
Ribbon
like
actually has some acrid,
it
weak
has
taste
some
in it.
bad taste. It tastes
Anyway.
a little bitter and nasty, and not in a good beer way.
Mark again.
So let's get to the most interesting of the rumors. Mark says, "Does this robot have human-level intelligence?"
The way Mark studies your expression suggests that your answer will say as much about you as it will about Ian. And we've got 4 or 5 answers here. You should see Ian while he's learning from movies. It's only a matter of time before he surpasses us.
That's true of me too.
Yes, Ian is absolutely the equal of any human.
I'll take it.
I don't know if we can make that claim yet. Intelligence is a concept designed by elites to denigrate the lower classes. Ian is what he is.
Yes, that answer.
Really? Us? That answer? I don't
No,
know.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I just like that.
No, he's still got a lot to learn. Or no, Ian's mind is a pale imitation of human intelligence, which most people underestimate.
Wow.
I kind of like that one a little
I
bit.
feel like that's
but-
the Jeremy Clarkson
Yeah,
answer.
I don't know.
I
We
mean,
already
I-
told him he was alive. That seems to contradict that a little
Well,
bit.
okay, I don't like what it's saying about Ian, but I like the idea of like the idea that people underestimate human intelligence. Because I think that's true. Like that whole George Carlin thing, like think how dumb the average person is, and then realize half of them are stupider than that. I think most people are way smarter than other people give them credit for.
I usually assume people are smart before I assume that they're dumb.
But yeah, we shouldn't say that about Ian because he's not a pale imitation. If anything, he's a very vibrant imitation.
Yeah. I think no, he's still got a lot to learn is probably fairly accurate.
I mean, but this is like
The short line gamer says power.
I think we should
The
talk.
first one is also
We're in an
accurate.
interview. I think our fame is 0. We should talk him up.
That's a good point.
That's
Should we
why
do
we took the
the
interview, right?
Should we do the first one? It's only a matter of time before he surpasses us. 'Cause that's kind of saying the same thing that he's not quite there yet. but
Also,
he
we're
will
trying
be.
to stick it to Ziegler.
Yeah, we don't want to.
Oh,
We
yeah.
also don't want to freak him. We don't want to freak this guy out. Remember, he's like, "How I learned to stop worrying and
Well,
love
that's about
DARPA."
military stuff. This is about emotional intelligence.
If we say he's learning from movies, that kind of helps out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Except that we showed him freaking Terminator.
I think saying he's the equal of any human is odd.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, that's
I think the
too
first
weird.
one's actually true, just kind of cleverly worded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First one.
Uh-huh.
Alright, so you should see Ian while he's learning from movies. It's only a matter of time before he surpasses us. Alright, and then, yep, I knew it was going to go this way.
You're educating your robot with movies?
Why not, you say? There's a lot of good common sense information in that corpus that wouldn't be in a traditional education. Plus, it's a big body of knowledge, much larger than the structured information in a traditional education.
Mark nods and makes a note of this. And the idea is, it's more information than any human could ever digest. That's why they're going to surpass us?
Right, you say.
Mark makes a note of this.
You notice that he also writes something you didn't say, which is, where is the wisdom, etc. What did you mean by that, you say, pointing to the note.
It's a T.S. Eliot quote, Mark says. Where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? Where is the knowledge we have lost in information? I might use it in the piece.
Oh, you suspect this is a dig.
That was a good O.
Let's talk about your advisor then. Professor Ziegler is famous for his pronouncements that, in the near future, we'll have robots smarter than humans. What role did he play in creating this robot of yours?
Absolutely nothing. Which option is that?
The top one.
He had nothing to do with it at all besides providing the funding. He demanded that the robot appear more useful to the military without contributing significantly to its intelligence.
That's a good answer.
He provided some suggestions during the robot's construction. I was greatly inspired by his thinking when I was listening to him speak on NPR as the robot was being built, in fact. I liked the first two. So we either just don't give him any credit, or we specifically mentioned that he was demanding that it was more useful to the military, which will make this guy dislike him more, I think.
I think we should do... Well, I don't know. I think we should do the second
I
answer.
have a fondness for Ziegler, obviously. That's why I made him such a charming person. You say appear, Mark points out. You don't think the changes he suggested were useful?
Did I pick the wrong thing?
I think because we're still talking about the military thing.
Yeah.
He's
okay.
saying...
No, they tended to be very superficial, you say. He only intervened once. He only intervened once I was building his physical form. By that time, I'd already designed the algorithms for learning. He had nothing to do with anything essential to Ian's mind and personality.
Interesting, Mark says, making a note of Professor Ziegler's level of involvement. And why did he push you in the direction of military applications?
I think it was just to secure funding, you say. He didn't seem to care whether we delivered something that would actually see use on the battlefield or not. He just wanted to make sure we could sell it.
So, who is currently funding this work? Mark says.
Actually, nobody, you say. My advisor kicked me out of his lab.
Mark raises his eyebrows. Oh, for what?
For not going along with his stupid suggestions, you blurt out in frustration.
Oh.
So, you refuse to change your work to appease DARPA, Mark posits. Oh, so you refuse to change your work to appease DARPA, Mark posits.
You think you detect some approval in his voice. That's right, you say.
He raises his PBR to offer a toast.
Yeah!
Forgive the breach of journalistic objectivity. But him.
Go, Mark.
You bump your PBR against his can. Yeah, you both take a long drink.
Everybody loses in this exchange.
Mark asks a few more questions about Ian, getting a sense of what he's good at and not so good at. He appreciates the effort you've put into trying to make Ian get along with people, while clearly expressing doubt that he would really understand humans.
Last question, Mark says. Will you allow us to send a photographer to take pictures of your robot?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, you're welcome to come along and interview Ian. Sure, send a photographer, or no, I don't want the media hounding him. Ian's still basically a child. What do you guys think?
I think...
Input from viewers?
Why do I want a video about Ian becoming master of the multiverse? It's the important question. They're also trying to figure out what the Ian would stand for, such as Intelligent Android Network.
I like that.
Oh,
or
that's fun.
Interconnected Anime Nachos.
Less relevance
That's
and
cool, though. That's a good idea. That would just be like a tortilla with anime prints.
We can either let Mark, we can either say yes and Mark, you come by and interview Ian now. Just say yes, send the photographer along, or no, we don't want the media here because he's still basically a child. What do we think about that?
Shortline Gamer KSP says he's a child. That is our input so far.
What do you think, Rachel?
I've played this before, and I seem to remember this particular question being kind of a minefield.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, bad things happened, both choices I made.
So, at full disclosure, at this point, I was building a Grace robot. I had like the Venetian mask, the wooden, the wooden body, the wings, the alien. It was mostly a Grace robot. So things went differently. And you didn't actually get very far in your playthrough, did you, Rachel?
No.
You were basically
I think I chose like the first answer, and I think like when they came to the house, she didn't like it. Like my robot was like, no, I don't want them to talk about me.
But
really?
We have an incredibly empathetic robot.
Yeah.
I think any robot can do it. Sasquatch's computer says, "Go for the military. Chess master time."
We've already gotten past military. We've basically thrown military out the window at this point. I think it'd be good for an interview. Right?
Yeah.
Why not?
It's interesting because at this point I believe it's diverged enough that I can't accurately predict what will happen.
Because we're also looking for funding, right?
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, we want to get fame and money.
So it seems like if we show off adorable little mushroom head Ian, then people will maybe give us more money for it. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's give it an interview. Hope nothing goes wrong.
A few days later, Mark comes to your apartment with a photographer, a young blonde woman with a slight southern drawl. You're a bit embarrassed that your place is still strewn with boxes since you haven't finished moving into your new digs after being kicked out of grad school. But the photographer assures you that none of that will appear in the photos. She asks Ian to sit on your workbench, then asks you to look as if you're busy fixing something on Ian's person. You and Ian both comply. Smile, she says. You do. Sorry.
Oh, good job. Alright, you want to keep going?
Sure. Once the photos are taken, Mark tries his hand at interviewing Ian. He looks cautious and slightly guilty, as if the journalism police were going to pop out from your closet and take away his license. That's bad. He pulls a Chromebook on your workbench and interviews Ian, who examines the tools in your toolbox, occasionally fumbling and dropping a tool with a loud clatter.
So, Ian, Mark coughs uncomfortably. What's it like being a robot? People seem frightened of me, Ian says after some thought. Why do you suppose that is? Mark asks. I think it is irrational, Ian says, lifting its Come on now, we went over this.
Yeah, we specified.
That's just a missed variable. Lifting its multi-tool hands in a shrug. What kind of things make you happy? Movies, finding ways to make humans happy. The presence of dearest meatbag.
Remember to go in thirds and fifths, dear. You're going in like creepy.
I am tone deaf, so
we got it to call us dearest meatbag, by the way. If anybody.
Finding ways to make humans happy.
Too bad. This is my voice. No. Ian's failings are mine. Ian cocks his panoptic head to the side. There is a significant gap between those and the next most highly ranked answers, but I could go on.
Oh,
that's all right.
That's so cute. That's really sweet.
Mark continues his questions. You get the feeling that overall, Mark is going to write a positive piece about Ian. His questions tend to be friendly, as if you were interviewing a celebrity. You feel reasonably comfortable allowing Ian to finish the interview, and the photographer takes several more pictures of Mark talking to Ian. By the end of the interview, Ian seems to be enjoying his interaction with Mark, +1 to empathy. I guess it's to 18 now, right?
Yeah.
As he's about to leave, Mark hesitates. His photographer, already at the door, gives him a questioning look.
Some user comments. Ian never watched White Lightning HQ YouTube videos. Okay. Ian, you are Ian. That's also true. I want a robot with Ian's voice acting in real life. Killing it. Also, cute.
Alright, Mark's talking again.
I'll see you later, Mark says to the photographer.
You keep going, Rachel.
Later. Later. She rolls her eyes and leaves you alone with Mark. What was that about?
Mark gestures to the cardboard boxes stacked around your apartment. So, just off the record, what the hell? If you've got this amazing robot, why are you living a monk-like existence surrounded by cardboard boxes in the bad part of East Palo Alto?
I told you, you say. I got kicked out of grad school. I'm still adjusting.
Mark hesitates and drums his fingers on a cardboard box. Come over to my place.
Excuse me?
I admit, I still don't really get you, he says, and I think you maybe don't know what you're dabbling in with this robot stuff. This is the apartment of somebody who lives in a different world. He gives you a lopsided grin. I'll show you my world if you show me yours.
Ah, that's weird. Go away.
In my world, I mean...
We have a lot of responses on this.
Nora Yelnock is requesting that Rachel reproduce her Five Nights at Freddy voice.
Oh, right. High schooler.
Which is basically kind of what I'm doing for Mark, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll do the girl version of that. For the choices. Okay, sure. Come on, Ian. Let's go. Okay, sure, Ian. Stay here and be good. Okay. Sorry. I think that Ellie wouldn't like that. I think it'd be best if you maintained your objectivity for this article. Let's just meet up after it comes out. Sorry, I've got a lot of boxes here that need unpacking. Is this a date?
Optimistically.
Is this a date?
Suspiciously. I think the first one is like increasing relationship. The second one is like increasing relationship. The third one is slap. The fourth one is a very even-handed sorry.
But it's also like telling him how to do his job.
Yeah,
which is like
stern.
Annoying. That's
but
like
he's also been clearly like kind of worried about.
I would be like mad about that.
I
if
guess
someone
those last
said
two
that to
could
me.
lead to further interaction and bring us back to some of these same choices also. If we wanted to do, is this a date?
Mm-hmm. Is this a date?
Is this a date?
But also, just say, yeah, okay, let's
Yeah,
just
I like
take you
that
in
one.
with us.
Mm-hmm. That's
Alright.
a good, just like, that could be a friend response too.
Yep.